What's up guys, my name's Adam and welcome back to Jamsville. Today I want to show you guys how to fly across the fretboard in the style of Wes Montgomery. So one issue that a lot of guitar players eventually have at one point or another is trying to figure out how to access the entire fretboard for soloing, rather than being boxed into different positions. Now, I think that one of the best ways to improve upon this aspect of your playing is obviously to learn solos from people who know how to access the whole entire fretboard. Wes Montgomery is definitely one of those people that you should transcribe from. And that's a huge reason why I chose to use a phrase from Wes Montgomery for this video. Now, the phrase that we're going to be looking at, which is the same one that I played right in the beginning of this video, is transcribed off of Wes Montgomery's solo on Days of Wine and Roses. There'll be a link to this recording in the description. So we'll be taking a look at this phrase, plus two variations that I created on the phrase. As a side note, I think that whenever you're transcribing from some other player, it's always very important to take their vocabulary that you like and change it a little bit to make it your own. Alright guys, so let's jump right into the lesson. I'm going to play the phrase really slowly for you, and then we'll break it down section by section. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this phrase is based in the key of G minor, and most of the notes we're going to be using come from the G Dorian scale, which are the notes G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, and G. So one thing I really like about this phrase, and the reason I chose it for this video, is that it spans a very wide range. The lowest note in the phrase is this G note on the 5th fret of the D string, and the highest note is an A note all the way in the top of the guitar. So it actually spans more than 2 octaves. It also spans over 12 frets on the guitar. Okay, now let's break it down step by step. So the first 4 notes of the phrase go like this. The way that we're going to play this is we're going to use our ring finger on the 10th fret. We're going to pick that note. And then the next 3 notes are going to be a hammer-on, a pull-off, and another pull-off. Like so. So the note that we're left on is this G note here on the 8th fret of the B string. Now next we're going to slide down from this G note 2 frets to F. So far we have this. Then once we get to our F note, we're going to play a D, B flat, A, and G. Like so. So, really slowly, one more time, here's the first part of the phrase. And notice the rhythmic difference is really interesting. We have 4/16 notes on the first beat, 3/8 note triplets on the second beat, and 2/8 notes on the third beat. So in the first 3 beats of this phrase, we're actually going down the rhythmic scale. So once you have this part down, then we're going to go back up almost the same notes that we just played by going up this B flat major 7 arpeggio. So it's B flat, D, F, A. So far we have this. One thing I forgot to mention is that when we're going up and down these arpeggios, we need to use the sweep picking technique with our right hand. So when I'm going up that arpeggio, I'm actually doing all downstrokes up until the last note because it falls in the same string as the 3rd note. So after we have this part, then we're going to cap it off with one more arpeggio that goes like this. So a key here is transitioning between the first arpeggio that's going upwards and the second one. You have to change hand positions very rapidly. So the notes for the second arpeggio are as follows. F sharp, G, B flat, D, and and then skipping up to A. This is just arpeggiating a G minor triad, and we're sliding into it from below from the F sharp note, and then we're ending on an A note. And for this arpeggio is the same thing, we're going to be using sweep picking for the right hand. So I'm going to play the whole lick together one more time really slowly so you can really hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, so now that we checked out the original phrase, let's check out the 2 variations that I wrote on this phrase. And hopefully from doing this, you'll be able to come up with your own variations on the same thing. So the first variation I came up with goes like this. Basically, I just changed the ending. So as you can see this time, I basically ended on an arpeggio that goes downwards instead of upwards. So the first 4 beats of the phrase are actually exactly the same as the first one. We still have this whole part here. But this time, instead of going up to the A note on our B flat major arpeggio, like this, instead we're going to go down a fret from our F note that's on the 6th fret to an E note that's on the 5th fret, like so. And then basically once we get to that note, we're going to be going down an F major 7 arpeggio, and then ending with E to D on the 7th and 5th frets. So again, it's the same thing in the beginning, but all we're doing is ending instead with this arpeggio. So one more time really slowly so you can hear it properly. So that was an example of me varying the ending of the phrase. So now let's move on to the second variation where I'm going to change the beginning of the phrase a little bit. So here it is really quickly at a medium speed. And now here it is really slowly. So the first 4 notes are going to be exactly the same. But it's going to change right away because instead of going down to our F note like this, we're going to go back up to an A note instead. Then from this A note, we're going to go down a D minor triad, like so. So it's sort of like when we went down initially the B flat major arpeggio, but instead we're skipping the B flat and we're just playing A, F, D, A. So after that part of the phrase, then we're going to go up to a C note here in the 3rd string, 5th fret. And then back down to the same A note that we were just at on the 7th fret of the 4th string. So here's the whole beginning. Then after that part, we just play the rest of the lick exactly like it was in the original. If you wanted to also, you could just land on that high A note, which would sound pretty cool. Alright guys, so I hope you learned something from that lesson. I think that learning these kinds of phrases is a really great way to break out of your scale or arpeggio boxes and positions on the guitar and really start flying around and gliding over the fretboard. A lot of it's very simple concepts, taking an arpeggio and repeating it up an octave or up a position. And the only thing really required to be able to start playing like this is to have a decent knowledge of your scales and arpeggios, and also have some vocabulary under your belt that can cover a large range all in one shot. I hope that everybody had a happy new year. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a couple of weeks. I'll get back to my weekly upload schedule. And if you guys want, please drop a comment below. Let me know if you'd like to see this turn into a series. I think it's great to see how other guitar players not only approach their playing in general, but specifically how they approach moving across the fretboard. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button below because there's going to be new videos coming out every week that you're not going to want to miss. Alright guys, until next time, listen, learn, and jam.